York Yankees find themselves on the brink of elimination after being shut out by the Houston Astros 5-0. They ended up with 3 hits, but they only had 1 hit through 8 2/3, and if not for meaningless hits by Carpenter and Bader with 2 outs in the ninth. I mean, this would have been a 1-hitter, which I guess is an improvement considering that Christian Javier, threw 7 no-hit innings against the Yankees early in the season. It continues to get worse, and even defensively, we've talked about the poor communication. And against Cleveland, I guess it was slightly different, where it was more so just bloops, even though there was things that were done incorrectly then. Here, just terrible communication between Harrison Bader and Aaron Judge, to the point where Bader drops the ball as Judge kind of flies, does a little bit of a flyby, and Bader just drops it. And then, of course, it leads to a Chas McCormick 2-run homer, just a scrape job right at the top of the short porch, like 335 feet. And that's all she wrote. I mean, we'll talk about things in depth, but it's just, I didn't think that this series was going to go well, and it's even gone worse than I could have expected. I did not think the Yankees would be down 3-0. Just the Astros pitching is completely shutting down the Yankees offense. Been that way for years, and it gets worse. I mean, when you consider the fact that 2017 Yankees lost in 7, and we're up 3-2 after 5 games. 2019 the Yankees lost in 6 to the Astros, and here seems like, I mean, they might get swept. They really might. And if they don't get swept, it's not going to be much better than that. They might lose in 5. So it's just extremely disappointing at Yankee Stadium. But look, the crowd has nothing to cheer about. And players are just not performing at all. Aaron Judge, it's been bad, folks. It's been bad. This postseason has really been putrid for Aaron Judge. He is batting this postseason. He has a batting average of 156. He has a career batting average in the postseason of 216. Again, and obviously the home run chase probably wore him out, but I don't want to use that as a full-on excuse. And nor would he. He wouldn't use that as an excuse either. This is, 1 walk and 14 strikeouts. That is alarming. This is someone that, is known for getting his walks, getting on base. That is not happening. He has a 182 on base percentage. Like, Aaron Judge is at the center of these problems. Let's not act as if, because we can pick, look, there's plenty of other blame to go around, and we'll get there. But, Aaron Judge had an MVP level season, and he is completely not delivered. Now, you look at the Astros, and similarly, like, Yordan Alvarez has been really completely neutralized by the Yankees, but they are getting contributions elsewhere. Jose Altuve has done nothing, but they are getting stuff done from players like Chas McCormick. Today, Christian Vasquez, who was, in my mind, a Yankee killer from his Red Sox days, and you just kind of knew that he would find a way to get it done. So the Maldonado-Vasquez duo has been a bit of a killer for the Yankees. So there was questionable pitching decisions today, but it's not even worth getting worked up over it, because the Yankees cannot hit. They cannot hit. They had 3 hits today, and like I said, 2 of them came with 1 out left in the game, down 5-0. The Yankees made lineup changes. I don't know why some of these were made. Clearly, there was an emphasis on getting left-handed bats in the lineup versus Christian Javier. And Stanton being left field did not end up costing them much. I mean, there are things that I could be picky about, but really it didn't make a huge difference. But all that just to get Matt Carpenter in the lineup, although, I mean, especially since he got that last hit, he's going to be in there next game. Almost certainly he will be against Lance McCullers. And to be fair, look, your options are thin. I just felt like Bader leading off. I felt like you had something there. And then you put Rizzo at leadoff. I mean, Glaber DHing I don't love. Interestingly enough, Donaldson moves down to 7. And he's been hearing the boo birds and kind of just, he walks off the field laughing or smiling. I mean, but that's Josh Donaldson for you. But yeah, just bad up and down the lineup. Really bad up and down the lineup. I mean, Stanton's stats aren't there, but I still don't mind what I've seen from him, even though the stats are pretty ugly. I mean, they are. I mean, pretty much almost for everyone they are, except for Bader and Rizzo I mean, Bader has definitely quality numbers, very much so. And then Rizzo's are okay. Everyone else's are way below par. I mean, it's not even close. So as bad as the offense has been, it's even worse. I cannot stress enough, and I had said a million times that this team was going to struggle to hit against the Astros, and they have. So Christian Javier versus Garrett Cole. And Garrett Cole pitched pretty well today. The box score ends up looking a lot worse than the reality of the situation. Do you wish that it was better, like 96 pitches in 5+ innings? Yeah, not, I guess, the most efficient, but look, like the Astros, they're going to make you work. But Cole did get his strikeouts, and I thought he pitched, like, blame shouldn't really go to Cole here. Definitely not him. But the Astros definitely made him work a bit. Let's go to the second inning, and this is the play of the game. I mean, and just an absolute gut punch. Because, the Yankee fans were excited. They were waiting for something good to happen. And with 2 outs, you almost have a 1-2-3 inning. Mind you, the at-bat before, Trey Mancini hits a fly ball to Harrison Bader, where there was almost a little bit of a collision between Stanton and Bader, which is more understandable considering that, Stanton hasn't been out there at all. But then the next batter, Christian Vasquez hits a fly ball to right center field. Bader and Judge are coming towards each other, and Bader, that's the center fielder's ball. That's just what it's always been. And it's funny, if Aaron Hicks did this, oh my God, people would have lost their minds. But because it's Harrison Bader, people aren't going to freak out quite as much. But yeah, like I said previously, Bader drops the ball. Even with that, I don't know how he dropped it. I mean, it must have been because Judge, walked by him, and so Bader just there was a momentary lapse of, concentration or something just went amiss, and he dropped the ball. So, and then of course, all right, so that, I mean, I wouldn't be making a big deal about this if something didn't happen after. It does. Chas McCormick, who had a big home run in Game 1 off of Clark Schmidt, it's another opposite field homer. And, I mean, of course, it couldn't go off the top of the wall and stay in. As far as I saw it, bounces, scrapes right at the top of the wall and out. 2-run homer for the Astros. And in that moment, you're feeling like, that's probably too much. I mean, 2-0 in reality really shouldn't be. But with the way the Yankees are, it kind of felt like it was game over. So, 2-0. Now we go to the second inning. And it felt like Christian Javier, it should have been better than it was. His command was not great. The Yankees have been getting ahead in counts, and yet still nothing happens. And Gleyber gets a leadoff walk, and then Matt Carpenter with just an awful at-bat where he strikes out looking. Bader pop out where he was too aggressive. And then Donaldson strikeout, because that's what Josh Donaldson does. Josh Donaldson strikes out all the time. Happened twice again today. So the Astros are up 2-0. Cole settling in a bit. Javier settling in a bit. Let's go to the bottom of the fourth. Bottom of the fourth, Judge strikes out to lead up the inning, and Aaron Judge today did not look good at all. To be fair, he almost homered, like last game. He almost homered. So I'm not going to act as if he's been horrible the whole time, but today was just about as bad as I can remember seeing him. Giancarlo Stanton gets a 1-out double on a 3-0 count. So 3-0, he's swinging. I don't mind it. And he gets the one. What looked like it was going to be the only hit of the game. And then Gleyber Torres, I just don't quite understand on a 1-0, be a little patient. 1-0 on a high pitch, he pops out to first base. I just don't know what that was about. And the Carpenter flies out. So, crisis, not even crisis, but, threat goes nowhere for the Yanks. Top of the fifth, a little bit of trouble for Cole. Gives up a 1-out double. Altuve gets his first hit of the series. It's a 1-out double. First hit of the postseason, I should say. But Cole, is able to get by it. It remains 2-0. And then the fifth inning, it was another inning where maybe there's an opportunity. Harrison Bader, 4-pitch walk. And then Josh Donaldson has a 3-1 count. And he flies that to left, like harmlessly. Like that's just frustrating. Where when you really need Donaldson, it's funny, like he'll draw his walks. He did it again today. He will get on base and like I said, draw his walks, but like that's a spot there where ahead in the count, crowd's ready to get into it, and he flies out. And then to make matters worse, with Cabrera up, Bader is caught stealing. Great throw by Christian Vasquez, Bader's out. And then Cabrera strikes out, inning over. And then the top of the sixth is when it really is done. Alex Bregman, leadoff double. Bregman's been great. Like, Alex Bregman has been very, very good. When I think about the Astros' best players this series, yeah, Bregman's at the top of that list. He's been the guy. So Bregman gets a leadoff double. Then it's a walk to Kyle Tucker, which at the time it's fine. I'm all right with that. Your main concern is not letting the Bregman run score. Then Gurriel kind of punches a soft single to right, bases loaded, no out, and then they pull Cole. And I can understand why. Trey Mancini had some really good at-bats earlier in the game. Mancini had that deep fly ball to Bader, the one where he almost collided with Stanton, and then he walked. So I kind of understand it, but also Cole was only at 95, 96 pitches. Also, for me, I am a Lou Trivino supporter. Obviously, Garrett Cole is Garrett Cole. So there's a lot of I would be lying to be completely up in arms with the decision, but yet completely understand people that are frustrated about it. Garrett Cole at that point hadn't allowed an earned run. Like, you kind of got to let him work through that. They go to Trivino, and Mancini gets a sac fly. And not only does he get a sac fly, and this is where Stanton, I think, maybe should have, not that it would have mattered in the long run, but probably should have thrown it into second. So both runners advance. Everyone advances, second and third, one out, and then Christian Vasquez really, puts the icing on the cake as he gets a 2-run single. Vasquez, so Trivino doesn't get the job done. Lou Trivino does not, and so that's a bad look there for Aaron Boone, as, you take Cole out, and then Trivino does that. So bad job by Lou Trivino, but he was put in a ridiculously tough spot. He hasn't really pitched all that much, and then you throw him into a bases loaded, no out situation. Astros take advantage. It's 5-0. Christian Javier's day ends in the sixth after a 1-out walk to Anthony Rizzo. Hector Neris comes on, strikes out Judge, and Judge looked awful. It was a pitch in the dirt, 3 pitches and done for Aaron Judge. Stanton grounds out. We're through 6, 5-0. In the seventh, Trivino stays on and goes scoreless. So interestingly enough, and this is where things get misleading, Lou Trivino, his stat line, 2 innings of no runs, but that's, for sure misleading. And Ryan Stanek, who's like their number 5 guy in the bullpen, it just goes to show how many good arms the Astros have. He strikes out the side. Torres, Carpenter, Bader all go down on strikes. And so now we head to the 8th, Miguel Castro. Castro does a good job, as he did in game 1. He goes 1-2-3. So, not that it really matters all that much, but Castro pitches well. We go to the bottom of the 8th, and this was really, I guess the 9th there was a chance also, but this was like the real last chance. Hunter Brown comes on, and, it was Dusty Baker showing faith in Hunter Brown. He could have went to one of his higher guys, but he said, you know what, let me give him a shot. And he was nervous. 4-pitch walk to Josh Donaldson. Then Oswaldo Cabrera walks. So this is the first time the Yankees have 2 base runners on. And so it's first and second no out. And Trevino, the problem is there was nowhere else you could really go, like, kind of Falefa. I would have liked to have gone to Oswald Peraza, but they just don't look at it that way. And Trevino flies out. Donaldson does advance to third. So it's first and third, 1 out. And Rizzo lines out. It was a nice at-bat. Rizzo, as he usually does, sticks in it. But he lines out, not like terribly hard, to Jeremy Pena. And then that's out. That's it for Hunter Brown. They bring on Rafael Montero for Judge, and Judge just got really, really aggressive. He grounds out on a pitch that almost hit him. Honestly, I think if he doesn't swing at that, that almost hits him. And so he grounds out to Bregman, and so inning over. We go to the 9th. Domingo Germán makes his, finally Domingo Germán appears. He makes his postseason debut. and had to kind of shake off the rust. There was a couple of walks to start, Vasquez and McCormick, because of course the bottom of the order kills the Yankees. But then the top of the order strikes out Altuve, Pena flies out, and Alvarez lines out. So we get to the bottom of the ninth, and it is Brian Abreu, who we saw in Game 2. You think back to that at-bat versus Stanton. Well, Stanton leads off and grounds out. Really nice play by Jose Altuve. Should have been a single. Then Torres strikes out, and the Yankees get a little bit of a two-out rally. Carpenter singles, Bader singles. And then good old Josh Donaldson, just an ugly at-bat. I mean, about as ugly as it gets. 3 pitches, takes one looking, swinging, and then just a kind of a half swing. And that's your ball game. Astros win it 5-0. Yankees get shut out. Just really embarrassing for the Yankees. The Astros absolutely own this team. Own them. For years, there's just no other way around it, and something has to change. I'm not talking about the series. It's a matter of when. They're not going to win. They're not coming back. It's a matter of when it ends. But what can you do? And there's not an easy answer to this, but what can you do to make this better? What's the answer? And realistically, Brian Cashman's not going anywhere. As much as I'd want him to, he ain't going anywhere. Boone, probably not going anywhere either. It's possible, but I'd say he's back. So what is going to change that is going to get you over the hump? I don't know what it is. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Aaron Judge's future is obviously up in the air. We don't know if he's going to be back. And so obviously I want him back, but I'm not just ready to I don't want the Yankees to just give him a blank check. No way. With what he's done in the postseason, no thanks. No thanks in the sense that I don't want to just, give everything to him. I'm sorry. He obviously makes you better. Would I like him back? Of course. Would I be upset if he's gone? Of course. But something has to change. I'm not saying that's the answer. Maybe that leads you somewhere. I almost feel like you might have to get worse now to get better in the future. Because what was a promise, 2017, the baby bombers, what seemed like such a bright future, has, look, it's been successful. They've made the playoffs every time. Some really good win totals, some really good regular seasons, but they can't get beyond the Astros. They just can't do it. And so how can you fix that is the question. Those are going to be the questions once the series. We'll leave that more to when the series is over. If there is rain in the forecast, but if it is tomorrow, whenever the next game is, it'll be Lance McCullers Jr. versus Nestor Cortez. Lance McCullers, who was brilliant versus the Yankees back in 2017 in Game 7, and Nestor Cortez, you like him you like having him on the bump. Cortez really an amazing job in Game 5 against Cleveland on 3 days rest, and Cortez, I think he'll do well, but if you can't hit, you can't hit. That's just what it comes down to. Cortez can do all he wants, but if the Yankees don't hit McCullers, what does it mean? So we'll see if the Yankees can stave off elimination. Anything's possible at this point, but the Yankees are down 3-0 in this series after an ugly 5-0 loss at the stadium.